Welcome back to my official YouTube channel. This is Gaurav, and today there is a very interesting news that comes earlier in the afternoon that maybe not Prithvi Shaw and SuryaKumar Yadav will be traveling to England, and I think once yesterday Washington Sundar got injured, so maybe Jayant Yadav will be also traveling with this with the England tour. So we'll be discussing about that, and obviously our discussion will be on the what you call it on the Sri Lankan tour, also the T20 starting from tomorrow. Lucas' favorite format, T20, starting from tomorrow, will definitely discuss about that. So Lucas, welcome back to my show, mate, and you need to unmute yourself first.
Yeah, thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
So we'll discuss about T20 cricket, or we'll just start with the test match format, because we are hearing some news that Prithvi Shaw might be traveling to England, and obviously Suryakumar Yadav will be also traveling to England. So what's your take on that? Because there is no confirmation yet from the BCCI. Look, Shikhar
Mm.
Dhawan has done a pre-match conference just because T20 series will be starting from tomorrow. So he has done a pre-match show and pre-match press conference, what you call it, and he has said that we haven't got any news or till now that BCCI has said to us that we need Prithvi Shaw and Suryakumar Yadav to travel to England. So what's your take on that? Lucas, go ahead.
Um, well, they have to be sent, to the England series because, as you well know, there's some injuries in the team.
Yeah.
Which it seems that Washington is out for the series. Rohit
Yes.
Sharma also has an injury cloud under him, but I think he will play. I think as of this stage, he will play.
Yeah.
So they need to
Shubman Gill
cover
is
them.
already out of the England tour.
Yeah. Yeah, so Shubman Gill's already out before the warm-up matches even started, and that. So they need to send potentially reinforcements to cover those players. Otherwise, we have to remember that this is a tour. This isn't a home series where India can just grab players from anywhere. This is a
Yeah.
tour, and they are somewhat handicapped by this tour, because also with COVID and the bubble, they have to quarantine. And they just cannot just grab players out of domestic league or club, or players that are in domestic structures playing in club cricket. They cannot do that while they're in overseas tournaments or tours. So they have no choice but to go to the ODI series that they've been playing against Sri Lanka and grab players from there, because they're the only players that have actually been playing cricket now, albeit it's a white ball format. And it's not ideal picking players based on white ball cricket. But unfortunately, you have to pick what is best available in your situation. Unfortunately, those players in the Sri Lankan series are the best players available. So they've really got no choice but to cover those injuries and reinforcements, and not just that, but just in case someone else gets injured. Which we don't want that upon anybody. We want a nice, clean bill of health, but they have to take every precaution necessary for this tour of England.
And obviously, once if you're talking about Suryakumar Yadav and obviously you're talking about the other guy, Prithvi Shaw, if they will travel to England, obviously there is a lot of time they have to be on the quarantine also. So on that case, that means they will miss the first two or even three match, because they have to face the quarantine issues, and obviously there is a T20 series going on, obviously, and they will be playing T20 here also, because the T20 series starts from tomorrow, and they are definitely part of the T20 series. So after that, I don't know how many days they have right now, because if they travel now, they will be definitely be missing two or three test matches. And so what's the point of playing just two test match and going in the England?
Yeah, well, I think the Test series starts this Thursday. I think between
Yeah.
England and in India. India just have to hope there's no injuries. They're
Obviously.
already short-staffed as it is. They're already handicapped. We got Agarwal pulled out before there was even a warm-up game. We saw Sharma, who's potentially injured. We're not sure about the
But
details of
there
his
is a
injury.
one opener also available. I think Abhimanyu Ishwaran is also the part of the test series and he's in England. So there is no worry if Rohit or maybe Mayank got injured. So we have that option right now. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, for now you have that, but you also need to recover the players that are like Sharma gets injured. He gets replaced by somebody. You have to replace that reserve player as well.
Yeah,
Because you need to make sure your stocks are as high as possible going into these tours,
obviously.
because these aren't just two test tours. This isn't a once-off test. This isn't a three-test series. This is a five-test series.
Yes,
They're going to probably be in England for at least 2 months. This test team, uh, you
obviously.
know, so they have to prepare for a long as long as possible. It's going to be a long tour. They've arrived in England very early because they've had to quarantine. So this already is already a long tour for them. This is probably longer than they've probably have to waited for a test match to start. Um,
Obviously. And
and
just because they are facing with the what you call it the situation are not normal right because the earlier used to be there were no corona on that period of time. So if what you call it if the World Test Championship would have been finished, they would have gone back to their homes and after
yeah,
that they would have traveled to England again. But the
yeah.
situation are not normal right now, so they have been on the England for a very long period of time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They would have left England. They would have gone back to their families, their friends. They
Obviously.
would have gone back to an environment that's more comfortable for them. They would have stayed there for a couple of weeks, and then they would have gone to England. And
Yeah.
bring their families and wives and kids and whatnot. Which also, bringing your family with you is also it's a comfort thing. You don't want to be alone on these long, especially long tours like this. We see in
Yeah.
England when they go to Australia and Australia go to England, sometimes they don't come back home for 2 months. They spend
Yeah.
all Christmas in a different nation, um, and Boxing Day in a different nation, and you want to be as comfortable as possible, mentally prepared as possible. You don't want to be in a room by yourself thinking, I wish my family was here, you know, and all that. It can mentally drain you, and it's just something you don't need on these long tours. Now as far as the injuries go, India just cannot. They just can't afford more injuries. Now I understand that with COVID and that the players that coming from the Sri Lankan series have to quarantine. Now, is it
Yeah.
worth it? Well, it is worth it because if someone gets injured, they have to cover for those players. So maybe I would have preferred if India did actually send some reinforcements before that ODI series, just in case. But you cannot. The one thing is you cannot predict injuries. They could happen at any time.
Any
As we saw
point
with
of time. Yeah.
that's what we saw with Agarwal. He wasn't even playing in a game when this happened,
And don't
and he got
forget, I'm not talking about Mayank Agarwal. So I just got to hear this news that Ajinkya Rahane is not very much sure about the first test match also. He may be also not part of the first test match also because he's also facing some injuries issue and he was not part of the practice match also, if I'm not
no,
wrong.
no,
That in Durham.
no. Well, this is this seems to be spreading like wildfire. I think
Yeah.
we saw Kohli not play because of sore back. He was advised by his doctor not to
But
play.
team management are expecting him to be fit for the first test,
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
never know with
absolutely.
this injury.
Yep, absolutely. And Rahana had some tight, was it a hamstring issue of some kind
Yeah.
that he did. Yeah, he did. So we've seen Rohit Sharma with a hamstring injury as well. Reason why he did not field. So this is a big concern. This is the problem with staying in such places for a long
Long
period
period.
of time.
Yeah.
You don't get used to the weather. The weather is a huge factor. You're going from 40 degrees in India to literally 20 degrees. That's a 20-degree difference. Now you might think, well, in England's in its summer,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean it's going to be very hot. You need to get used to these conditions, and your muscles cramp up, they get tight, and you're more vulnerable to injury. Now, as a main player, like if Rahane is not in that first test, that's not like just recovering from a normal average player. He's a big part of that Indian team. He's very, very crucial. We saw his performance in Australia where he did extremely well, covering for Virat Kohli. So if I don't know if Rahane did miss the first test, I don't know who would come in for him. Maybe you have more information.
If Rahane manages to miss the first test, I think KL Rahul will bat in the middle order because team management is very clear about the KL Rahul that he will bat in the middle order. Let's take some question on this topic also. Anand has asked to you, would you see Mayank Agarwal opening with the Rohit Sharma, or do you prefer KL over Mayank? Go ahead, Lucas. Will I give this answer, or will you give this answer?
You go. You give the answer.
Anand, I think team management is, as I said it earlier, team management is very clear about this, that KL Rahul is KL Rahul will be playing in the middle order. He is a backup option of middle order batsman. If Cheteshwar Pujara or Ajinkya Rahane not lived to his expectation, then KL Rahul will make through the playing 11. He will be part of the playing 11 if Ajinkya Rahane and Cheteshwar Pujara doesn't perform in this series, in this long test series. So team management is very clear. KL Rahul will bat in the middle order, and so that means Mayank Agarwal will be opening with the Rohit Sharma.
And we saw KL Rahul in the middle order in the county game make 100. That's where he was batting. He wasn't opening.
He was batting in the middle order, right?
Yes, he was batting in the middle order. Yeah. And he made 100 in that tour game. So he's in form. Now we can make another discussion where if he should actually play in this match. But that's a discussion for another day. But he's in form. So if Rahane does go out, they can turn to someone like KL who's in great form.
Yeah, Samarth also commented this, that Rahul will play if Rahane not recovers. So obviously, team management has said that if obviously that what do you call it? If Ajinkya Rahane doesn't manage to get fit before the first test, then KL Rahul will make through the playing 11. So obviously, there is, as I told you earlier, there is a lot of option in the back. There is a lot of backup option in the middle order right now. If SuryaKumar Yadav will fly to the England, he is also a middle order batsman. Okay, he will be also playing in the middle order. KL Rahul is also the middle order batsman. And so, Prithvi Shaw, once he will travel to England, he's the opener. Abhimanyu Ishwaran is also there. Mayank Agarwal and Rohit Sharma will definitely be opening. So there is a proper backup for India right now. And considering I have heard this news that Jayant Yadav, I hope you know this name, Jayant Yadav. I think he has, if you don't know, he has scored 100 and taken a lots of wicket for India. He has scored 100 against England. In the, I think he has scored 100 in Mumbai, if I'm not wrong. So he will be also fly to the England, but we haven't got any confirmation news yet. So you never know. But we have that backup option for a middle order, for an opening batsman. We just need a backup option for what you call it, Ravichandra Ashwin. We don't have that right now. Lucas, go ahead.
And obviously, they've got a backup wicket keeper. They got Sahar, haven't they? Yep. So they seem to have everything covered at this point in time. But going back to the Rahane, if it's not just his batting, that will be missed. It's his leadership. Also, we've seen Kohli. He might be the captain, but he might go to these experienced players and bounce ideas off them. And we saw what Rahane did in Australia. He was a very good captain, and that leadership is extremely valued. And if he does not play this first test, you're not just missing out on a great batsman. You're missing out on a great leader as well, that can throw ideas to Virat Kohli and support his captaincy.
Okay. That will be big miss for Team India. I hope he gonna be fit for the before
Mm.
the first test and will be back on the team playing test cricket for India. Okay, let's move to our next topic. That is your favorite topic and what do you call it? T20 cricket. I think you like it. So Sri Lanka will start. India versus Sri Lanka T20 series will start from tomorrow. So is there any chance for Sri Lanka? Mate, go ahead. Your favorite T20 series
Not
will start from
yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah, yeah. I love T20. You know, I love it as much as the 100. You know, it's fantastic. Um,
I feel bad for you because once you are still not over with the T20 cricket, you are still telling everyone don't watch T20 cricket. Test cricket is the ultimate format. You can watch 50 over format. But now there is what do you call it? The new 100 ball tournament has arrived.
it just keeps on getting better and better. You know what's next? No 5 overs in each innings. You know is that
No,
now going
there
to be
will
the
be
new
only a
thing? You know,
super over. There will be only a super over game in the future.
let's go with just a super over where just teams are just we don't even need batsmen. You know, send out bowlers and aim for one stump. You know, let's use that to decide matches from now on. You know, while we're at it, that's the way we're going. You might as well now. You know, with the Sri Lanka and India T20 matches now, we saw with a fully Indian squad, a full Indian squad, they had no
Yeah,
chance, absolutely no chance. Sri Lanka. Um,
but they managed to beat
it,
India. I think in the yesterday game.
yeah, they did beat them also in the third game, albeit India had like five replacements, so they had
Five
five new out.
replacements.
Yeah, five
And
replacements.
they managed to play with only three bowlers, and other three bowlers were what do you call it? Hardik Pandya, who wasn't fit for the bowling. I think Krishnappa Gautam, who is like what do you call it in Sanjay Manjrekar words, bits and pieces, and another is Nitish Rana, who is a part-time spinner. So they have made a completely what do you call it missed a big trick. They could have played with the four bowlers and the fifth bowler would have been Hardik Pandya and Krishna Gautam, but they have had made a miss. They have made a miss. They have misjudged the combination of a team, and that's why they paid for it and they lost that yesterday match.
Oh well, they will pick their full team available in this T20 series. You know, I'll make an early prediction. Shikhar and he'll make 50, and they'll be too strong for Sri Lanka. I can't pick Sri Lanka when they're playing against any team at this moment, unless, like you said, there's replacements in the team. So they're just so poor at the moment. So I can't pick them. Shikhar, man of the
Let's
series.
Shikhar Dhawan is the man of the series. Actually, he hasn't performed like he used to be performing in the ODI series. He's a big match. What do you call it? Not a big match, but he's a big ODI player, big guy. But he has the very good record in ODI. He's a very good white ball player. I think, especially in the ODI format. Not good in the T20 format, but he is a very good player in the ODI format. Let's take some of the questions. Samar Desai has asked that how would you see Varun Chakravarti if he debuted tomorrow? Have you seen Varun Chakravarti, Lucas? Or should I
Now
say,
this is
should I give the answer?
this is a question just for you, my friend.
Okay, Varun Chakravarti. I am also excited to see Varun Chakravarti. He has performed very well in the IPL, and obviously he's a mystery spinner. And obviously Kuldeep,
Mystery
the
spinner.
form of Kuldeep Yadav is not so good. Yuzvendra Chahal is also not bowling to like his standard. So I will definitely want to see Rahul Chahar and Varun Chakravarti both in the playing 11 because that will be a very good combination for the team. And I hope Varun Chakravarti performs well because if you ask with me, I would definitely pick him in the T20 World Cup. Varun Chakravarti is that kind of a cricketer, and obviously mystery spinner. Lucas, mystery spinner does provide you a variety in the T20 cricket. If you know, you can say that.
Yeah, I love that word, mystery spinner. You know, we're going to
Yeah.
see a left arm bowler bowl right off spin or leg spin. You know, that's
No,
a
no,
that's
he's
a
a
that's a word I'm
right-arm bowler.
excited about.
Yeah, he's a mystery bowler and he's a right arm. He has performed very well in the IPL, and just because of his fitness issues, he could have played a little earlier, but just because of his fitness issue, he missed those matches. He could have debut in the what you call it, in the Australian series, but just because of his fitness issue, he went on to miss that series, and after that England series, and now he's gonna be debut in this
Uh,
series. Go ahead.
is Kuldeep
Kuldeep
is in
Yadav.
England? Yeah, is in England, isn't he?
No, no, he's in the Sri Lanka,
Oh,
man. Because
uh,
Aksar Pat, there is already what do you call it? There is
yeah,
already
Axar
Ravindra
Patel.
Jadeja. Ravindra Jadeja is also there. Aksar Patel is already there. Ravichandra Ashwin is also there. So how many spinners you want in the England, especially in England? I could have understand if this series would have been played in India, but and obviously Kuldeep Yadav's form is also getting what do you call it, worse by day. He's not been the same kind of a bowler once Jason Roy and Johnny Bairstow smashed him in the 2019 World Cup. That's when what do you call it, the Kulcha Jodi was pregged, and that period, and that was the, I think Moeen Ali attacked him for the very first period of time. And I think in the 2018 or 19 IPL, Moeen Ali was the first guy who attacked Kuldeep Yadav, and after that Kuldeep Yadav was never been the same bowler that he used to be.
He was good in Sydney against Australia.
Yeah.
He was good in that Test match. So yeah, just wondering just what he's up to these days. He did play in the ODI series, didn't he? Did he play
Yeah,
in that
yeah,
in
yeah.
that
But
series? Yep, yep.
he did pick some wickets, but still he's not looking same kind of bowler which he used to be. His confidence is has been shattered right now. He doesn't look the same kind of a bowler. His confidence doesn't show on his face. Also, that he's looks like a what do you call it, the confident bowler which you see on everybody bowler's face. That I know he's not going through the rough phase, but every bowler looks so much confident. But he's not been the same kind of a bowler once. People have started attacking him and obviously started picking him. So
Okay.
that's the reason. And I think let's take some more question on the T20 cricket, T20 series. I think someone has asked. Uh, let's take some another question. Is Padikkal going opening the innings tomorrow? I hope so, Anand, because I want to see Devdutt Padikkal because he hasn't got a chance in the ODI series also. So I want to see him in the ODI in the T20 series, and obviously he's performed very well in the IPL. Lucas might not know this guy, but this guy has performed very well in the Vijay Hazare tournament, also the 50 over tournament, and he had a very good IPL also. So I want to see him, but looking at the management and looking at the what you call it, the preference, Prithvi Shaw might be playing ahead of anyone, and obviously Shikhar Dhawan gonna play. I would have loved to see Ruturaj Gaikwad also. Ruturaj Gaikwad is also a very fine kind of a player. He should have got this opportunity, but you never know. He would not play in this entire series. Also, Lucas is getting bored because I am talking about T20 series. Lucas, will Daniel Alexander be happy because he had tweeted yesterday that Sri Lanka is a better cricket team than India.
Yeah, well, his team should learn to make finals, shouldn't they? Before before he has to go anybody else. I saw his tweet where he said India can't win finals. Well, at least they can qualify for finals, unlike his
Obviously,
team. So
obviously they're gonna be playing qualifiers before the T20 World Cup. They will be playing qualifiers for the T20 World Cup. I don't know what he's
unbelievable.
talking about. He should have looked to look at his team and then would have commented on the other team. I can fully understand his love for India is immense.
Well, the funny thing is, he wasn't even born in Sri Lanka. I think he was born in Saudi Arabia. So I don't know what that's about. Um, but he just seems to hate India. So well, I can't help him. I got no advice for him. He's unhelpable until he
Okay,
fixes his ways.
Anand has asked you, do you sleep, Lucas, or not?
Do I sleep? Yeah, there's plenty of times to sleep when you're dead. So
Okay.
you
Okay,
know what.
let's move on to the cricketing topic discussion. Was discussing about the Daniel Alexander topic. He could have he could have seen his team first because their team obviously going to play the qualifiers before the T20 World Cup, and and after that you never know, they might be playing 50 over qualifiers also because this and what I don't know, they have got a very funny coach right now, Mickey Arthur, your favorite Australian team, former
Yeah,
Australian team coach,
my favorite coach. Yeah,
Mickey
very
Arthur.
nice. Poor Mickey Arthur. Well, it's actually quite dramatic scenes. We saw in the ODI series. Um,
Yeah.
that after one of those games, the batting coach, I think it was the batting coach of
Second ODI. I
Sri,
think it was in
yeah,
second ODI.
yeah,
Mickey Arthur went ahead with the Mickey Arthur was went in ground and had some conversation with the captain. And he completely
yeah.
lost his cool, man.
I think that was completely unprofessional.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with him doing that, but not in front of cameras. When they can see that,
obviously.
because 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 cameras, once they film it, it gets on newses, it gets on newspapers, and then it just attracts too much attention to you, and you've got pressure that's building up here, and then with stuff like that, it just goes higher and higher, and you got
Yes.
absolutely nowhere to go. And it's quite embarrassing. It's really embarrassing to see that.
And
You
why
know,
this kind of things happens with Mickey Arthur? Because you have been also part of this. Because Australia, he was the coach of Australian team. So what kind of character he was once he was the coach of Australian team, and what was the reaction of Australian news channel and the management?
mm,
What were their feedbacks once Mickey Arthur was the coach of Australian team? I want to know about it.
well, as you know, him being a South African, it didn't go quite well. With
Yeah,
Australia, they kind of have this obsession with keeping Australian coaches. They don't like to bring in
yeah,
people that are foreign. So we had under the golden generation, we had the great John Buchanan, who was probably one of
yeah,
the greatest Australian coaches ever. Then
yeah,
Mickey Arthur took over, and then kind of on-field results were okay, but
yeah.
he definitely lost the respect of the dressing room. Um,
Yes, that's the main
so
problem.
yeah, that as a coach with technical ability, he was okay for when he was coach of Australia. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't good either.
Yeah.
He was just okay. We won our series at home, but again struggled away as we do with every coach. But the real problem was lack of leadership, um,
Yeah.
lack of communication. He his motto was, well, do it my way or the highway, which I guess is fine.
Yeah.
But there is a point where if you start to lose the dressing room because of that motto, you have to adjust. You have to at least come back a couple of steps. Just take a breath, come back. And I don't think he did that. I think he lost the dressing room way too quickly, especially with Michael Clark. And after that
Yeah.
with Ricky Ponting, they kind of lost trust as they didn't trust him anymore.
Yeah.
And then he quickly got the sack. It wasn't because of his results. He just got the sack because the locker room just didn't respect him. They didn't trust in him, and it was by both agreed to part ways. So seeing what I saw in Sri Lanka, doesn't surprise me, but it really should have done behind closed doors. That's not the time and place to do that.
Okay, so for your final prediction of the India versus Sri Lanka series, I think don't you think there will be 3-0 or 2-1?
I think it'll be 3-0 India.
Oh,
Shikadara man of the series. I have a good feeling
okay.
about it. Yeah, but I said this about Mitchell Stark, and he turned around and took 5 wickets. So I'm doing a little jinx here. I'm saying that Shikadara man of the series is going to happen.
Okay, so my prediction will be 2-1 for Sri Lanka, 2-1 for India. Sorry, I think one match India gonna lose, and but India definitely gonna be winning this series. So it's time to wrap the show, guys. Lucas, very much. Thank you very much for joining us. It was a lovely talking with you. I hope we will meet tomorrow after the T20 match finishes, and you will be reviewing the tomorrow's what do you call it today's match of Australia and West Indies, and you will be definitely reviewing the West Indies and Australia match. I
Yeah,
think that will be start after 4 or 5 hours.
that will start in around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock my time, and I will be doing a review. Hopefully, there's a game on.
Okay.
So fingers crossed.
So thank you guys. It's time to wrap the show. We'll meet tomorrow after the post-match show. It's good night, guys. You can follow me on the Twitter and Instagram also. I am on Instagram and Twitter also with the It's Gaurav Ayan name. And obviously, do like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon, guys. As I said it earlier, do subscribe, hit the bell icon, and do like the video. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Lucas. We'll meet you tomorrow, guys, after the post match show. Good night,
Thank you,
guys.
guys. No problem. Good night.